Neil, we were all wondering the other day when the Barnet game was going to get rearranged for. You've not got long to wait. What do you make of the decision? Next Tuesday?
My thoughts are that the Football League have obviously not paid any attention to our views or of the thoughts of any of our supporters, but it doesn't surprise me. I think I've said nobody's going to do us any favours, but you don't expect the Football League to be working against you as well. But we've got to get on with the fixture, and that's what we'll do. If
you barn it, you look at the game and see that your top goal scorer will be unavailable. Then, from their point of view, can you see why they wanted it so soon?
It's obvious that they'd want to play the game next week. I knew that straight from when the game was called off, but I don't see any other teams playing. We'll rearrange fixture on that day, but like I say, we have to get on with it. The game's got to be played, and we'll look at that after the Grimsby game.
Yeah, when you look at the next few games, how frustrating is it that you've got Saturday, Tuesday, when you've not had a Tuesday game for months?
It's just, it's been a frustrating season, and that's just another thing where you'd like to think you could space the games out, better. But like I say, we've got to play the fixtures and we've got to get on with it. There's no point in, we can't make excuses. The fixtures have got to be played, and we've got to get on with them.
Yep. Without saying you take it one game at a time, when you look at the picture as a whole, how big is this month given the teams that you play and where they are in relation to you?
Well, it doesn't matter. We've only 2 months. We've 2 months left, and they're both vital months. The vital months for the club. We couldn't have 2 more vital months, and we need to take points in both months, and we need to be competitive in all the games. Because of the teams around us, yes, obviously this month looks the more critical of the 2 months, you would say, but you just can't. You never know in football. So I don't think you can look at March, or you got to look at them both, March and April, and we need to get points from both months.
Tom Pope's been so consistent when it's come to starting league games this season. How much confidence have you got in your squad that they can cover for him in what's now a really busy fixture period?
Well, I would be lying if I said it wasn't a problem, because if you've got one goal scorer who's got 16 goals, and your next forward has got 1 goal, 2 goals, then obviously that is a problem, isn't it? But like I've said, it's time now for people to get their fingers out, and everything will be forgotten if they can produce over the next couple of months, score goals, do well. Then the supporters will have somebody who they can, give the same sort of, hero worship to, like they do with Tom. It's up to somebody to really go ahead and make a name for themselves, and that's what I'm looking for somebody to do. So yes, I think forwards, different players could argue they've not had a run in the team, which would be the only thing you could say, and that they could argue that's why they've not shown their best form. But they're going to get a run of games now, and they have to take the chance.
Marcus Harness has just said to us that he feels at times this season he could have done much better. What do you make of how he's done?
I think it's refreshing for a player to say that. Too many times players don't admit their responsibility or sort of look at themselves, but Marcus is willing to do that, and I'm sure with an attitude like that, then Marcus can improve and get better. He certainly, since I've been here, he's had some very good games, and like you said, some games he could have possibly done better, but he's definitely going to figure in the remaining games, and like I say, it's an opportunity for Marcus as well to show what he can do.
Anthony Kay's back in training. How's he looking?
To be honest, he's training separately to the first team and to the group that we have, but the fact that he's back training, then it obviously shows that he's making good progress.
hopeful of having him back sooner rather than later?
I think it's up to the players who are playing. I've got to. Ideally, you don't want to be rushing anyone back because you'd like to think you can get some results and the team can. You can. Ideally, let's hope that him and when Tom comes back, they're struggling to get back in the team, and then that would mean that other players are doing well. If you're having to throw them back at short notice, then it obviously means that players are not doing the job, and we don't want that.
What are you expecting from Saturday's game at Grimsby? They're in poor form, but they've obviously got a manager taking charge for the first time.
Well, what am I expecting from any game this season? From now at the end of the season, I'm expecting tense games, difficult games, games where the only thing that's important is the result, not the performance. But I have to look for my own players. And they need to fight, they need to work hard, they need to do all the things that you'd want from a team who's fighting against relegation. There's lots of things you can't legislate, but that is the minimum that supporters expect, what I expect. And they need to be going into every game determined to get the points we need to get us safe.
They're expecting a larger than usual crowd at Grimsby on Saturday. Would you expect that to affect your players positively or negatively?
Well, I can only speak for myself. I preferred it if there was a bigger crowd. Bigger the crowd, I always felt it was better because your adrenaline's flowing. Your concentration's at a high level because there's a crowd and it gives you a lift. So I don't think that's a problem. I think in the scheme of things, that's not something that I need to concern myself about. If we were playing in front of the whole point of being a professional footballer for me is to try and get into a situation where you're playing big games where you have big crowds.